Member for 5 months, boss lady. Oh my goodness. My biggest fan. Can I like that one? I wanted to like that one. Yeah, he doesn't let you like it, but I can put you up there. So hello. I don't know. It might be a sort of a smaller group today because of it being a members only premiere. Because I felt like I wanted to do something for members, and I don't often get the opportunity. So I'm just going to premiere this for members only for a few days, and then we're going to make it public. So yeah, I mean, whatever. I get it. It's probably going to be a smaller group. That's fine. I don't necessarily mind that. I'm happy to see people. Hello, Mary Hanks. I don't know, boss lady. You're definitely here. I'm not sure if M. Peterson is still here. She was here earlier. I went over and looked at. Hello, Mary O'Neill. Hello, Garth David. Hello, Michelle Salter. All right, people are coming. Yay. So, and just not a human. Look at everybody's here. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, so this is the video. This is the video of Tricia doing her oral deposition in the Sue Pruitt Web Sleuths case. I just realized this morning, God, I got the video a couple of days ago, but I've had a lot of work on this week, and I just realized this morning that I had to redact it, and I was like, oh my God, I wonder how long that's going to take since I have no idea how to do that. Sorry if the sound is tinny. I'm not sure what I can do about that. But anyway, so I did manage to redact it. When there are, so first I put in a beep, like a bleep sound, but good Lord, what a racket that made. So I just made any names or spelling of names, screen names, addresses, things like that. Yeah, she's got some crazy hair. Hi, Ruben. It's a crazy interview. So this is actually just the first. There are 3. It's about a 6-hour, or about 5 hours, I guess, altogether. So we're just on the first one today. So there's 3. We're going to start this one. And yeah, I mean, it's a little bit boring. It's a little bit slow at points. There's some of the things that are surprising to me were things that, like, you just can't tell from the. I don't know how to stop that. Maybe if I shut this off. Tell me if that's changed. I don't know why it would be echoing. I haven't done anything different than I usually do. And I'm not super good at tech. Major echo. Is it still majorly echoing? Why would that be, I wonder? Okay, I don't know what to do about that. Hang on. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. It's literally no different than anything I ever do. Maybe I'll go out and come back. Just give me a second. I'll just go out and come back and see if that changes anything. Okay, I'm back, but I don't know. Maybe if it's really echoing, that's going to be a problem. Maybe when I'll just put on the video and we'll see where we are. Hopefully it won't. Boss lady, is it still echoing? I apologize. That's a pain in the ass. Audio sounds good to me. Okay, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe you've got an echo going on. Is it echoing for everybody? If it's echoing for you, put a 1 in the chat. Not that I can fix it because I really don't know how to, but What would be different? It's echoing for you too, eh? Okay. Audio's good for just another human. Okay, no echo for Mary O'Neill. Okay, well, I don't know what to do about that. I have not done anything different than what I usually do. So I'm just going to have to carry on. I don't know how to fix it. Sorry, you guys. Let's listen to Tricia anyway. She's fun. So here we go.
Okay, we are on the record. The date is September 27th, 2014. Time is 10:07 a.m. Beginning the deposition of Patricia Griffith. Will the attorneys present?
Is it the sound of my fan? Yeah. Okay, I turned off the fan. Is that better? Maybe it's the fan. I've got a littler fan. Okay, seems like everybody's good. All right, here we go. Let's hear Tricia.
President, please state their names for the record.
Ciro Samperi for plaintiff Susan Pruitt.
Megan Hassan for defendant Tricia Griffith.
And will the court reporter please swear in the witness?
Can you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
All right, by the rules.
Sure.
Okay. Ma'am, would you please state your full name?
Just to say, she did promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So just saying, we can decide whether or not we think she's sticking to that oath. And yeah, please hit the like button, people. I would be very grateful if you would do that.
Patricia A. Griffith,
And what is your date of birth?
12/19/1958.
Your current home address?
Do you want my mailing or my actual home?
Where you reside? And what is your mailing address? Okay. And you understand.
Sorry, I should have oriented people. Somebody's asking what is this? Did someone sue her? So yeah, back in 2011, she sold half of Web Sleuths to a woman by the name of Sue Pruitt for $11,000. And it went from being a sole proprietorship, which was, Patricia doing business as Web Sleuths, to a limited liability company. But she carried on treating it as though it was Tricia Griffiths doing business as Web Sleuth and using the bank account as her personal bank account and scamming off of her viewers and borrow, like, to the tune of many, many thousands of dollars. Hello, boss old lady. And Sue Pruitt sued her for her terrible behavior. So yes, you're very welcome, Mandy. I should have probably offered that at the beginning. I forget that not everybody is up to speed with everything. Hi, Kim Hastings. Nice to see you. We are watching Tricia. She has sworn to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I understand you're here today to give a deposition in the lawsuit in which Miss Pruitt has sued you for claims arising out of a business relationship, correct?
Yes.
And you understand that you have filed a counterclaim to that lawsuit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever given a deposition before?
Yes.
And how many times?
Once.
What was the circumstances of that deposition?
It was a car accident that somebody caused. I sued them for a car accident.
Okay. And about how long ago was that?
1983.
Okay. Well, I'm sure your lawyers told you, but I just want to go over a couple of ground rules. This is your deposition, so if you need to take a break at any time, just let us know. It's not a marathon, so we can stop anytime and take a break. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. And only caveat I have to that is that you don't take a break when there's a question pending on the table before you, okay?
Okay.
You're doing a good job of it so far, but as you know, we have a court reporter here today, and she's taking down everything we say. So I ask that all your answers be verbal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Just in case anybody's expecting her demeanor to change even slightly throughout, she does not change at all. She spends most of the time looking down, and she never changes from this demeanor, exactly like this.
And at times, it may seem like you know what I'm going to say, or you know what my question is going to be,
Yeah.
but I ask that you allow me to finish my question before you answer. That way the court reporter can take everything down, and I will in turn allow you to finish your answer before I ask my question, okay?
Yes.
If you don't understand a question I ask, and there's a good chance that will happen because I'm not the best question asker ever, so just ask me to clarify or ask me, just let me know you don't understand, and we'll try to correct that, okay?
So the lawyer for hi Michelle, the lawyer for Sue is just a positive sweetheart, which is one of the things that you just can't tell from the oral deposition. But he just sounds like a proper little sweetie pie, honestly, and he carries on throughout in the same vein. And Patricia, I think, I don't know what other people think, but I think that if she just chopped all that extra fuzzy stuff off the bottom there, I think she would look a lot more stylish with a little kind of a bob there like that. I think that would suit her, like this kind of the way my hair is looking right now. I think that would suit her. She would look less messy.
Okay.
If you answer a question that I ask, I will assume that you understood the question, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Are you taking any medications that would prohibit you or impair you from telling the truth today?
No.
You understand that you're under oath in this deposition, and even though it's informal and we're here on a Saturday and wearing our comfortable clothes, that it's just like we are in front of the jury and the judge down at the courthouse. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is your...
She just looks super malevolent to me there. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
educational background?
I graduated from high school in 1977, and I have some college.
Where did you go to high school?
Brighton High School.
Is that located in Utah?
Yes.
And you said some college. Where did you take your college courses?
Utah State University in Logan and the University of Utah.
Okay. How far did you get through college?
A couple of semesters.
Okay.
Right. She names 2 universities and then says she went to a couple of semesters.
Do you hold any certificates or certifications or anything?
No.
Okay. And let's start with, I guess, after college, with your work history, just a brief work history background. What was your first job at after you finished those courses of college?
I have to think. That was a while ago. If I remember correctly, it was at a small radio station in Tooele, Utah.
And what did you do there?
I was a reporter.
And about how long? Time periods, estimates, 85 through 90 or whatever kind of range you can provide us.
1979 through 1981, off and on part-time.
Okay. And where did you work after that?
At a radio station in Ogden, Utah.
And was that also in a reporter capacity?
I was the morning show co-host and news anchor.
All right. And approximately how long did you work there?
Oh, let's see, that was 1981 to 1983, I believe.
All right. And that was full-time employment, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. And what's next?
I worked at a station called Kissin in Salt Lake City.
And what did you do there?
Part-time news.
Okay. When did your employment with that station end?
It ended the same year.
1983?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes?
Yes.
And I guess take me between 1983 and, say, 2000. Just a quick overview of your employment.
In 1983, after Kissin, the radio station Ogden rehired me. And I worked there until 1986.
The one thing I wanted to say about her, hi, Tricia. Glad you could make it. Crazy, hey? I know. Hi, Miami Dottie. Nice to see you. I think she was like a radio reporter sort of for in one incarnation. But the one thing I wanted to say about this throughout the whole thing that I have, and I've seen all of it now, she remains completely undisturbed. Like she doesn't seem to be embarrassed or ashamed of her behavior or anything. Like she does lie sometimes. Obviously to make herself look better, but even when she's looking really bad, she doesn't seem to be ashamed of it or whatever. It's really weird. Well, Mandy, we know that they settled it in the end to the tune of something. You know, there was $100,000 was mentioned, right? Yes, you're right. So this normal Idaho mom says, Dreadful Penny, she looks prepped. This is very different than how she typically portrays herself to her audience. Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. And I would also agree with Hot Ham Radio's analysis that she isolates herself in a self-constructed bubble. Yeah, so I think that she sees herself as the victim here for sure. And that Sue is trying to steal the business from her. But it's very clear from everything that she says that she is completely in the wrong. So the fact that they settled it was very much to her benefit, because those things are not public, right? What the settlement was. And so she can basically just say whatever, right? Terrible person that she is. And she does just say whatever, allegedly.
I think. From 1986 to 1988, I worked at K-Bear in Salt Lake. 1988 to 1995, I worked at Z93.
What was your role at Z93?
An on-air disc jockey.
And that was full-time employment?
Yes.
Okay. Continue, please.
If I remember correctly, I worked at a station called The Mountain from 1995. Oh man, this is where it's gonna get hard. Off and on up until I worked for that company from 1995, off and on through 2001.
Okay. And what were your job duties at that company during that time period?
First, I was a full-time disc jockey. And then they had voice tracking, so I was part-time voice tracker.
What's voice tracking?
Well, you think you're listening to a live disc jockey, and you're probably not. It's a computer, and what they do is they have you record the breaks that you do, and then they put it before and after the music. So it sounds like you're introducing a song, it sounds like you're talking about a song, but you're not even there in the studio listening to the music. You just pre-record all your breaks. A computer puts it together, and it sounds like you're live.
Okay. And since 2001, what other employment have you had?
I worked out of my home doing voice tracking for a station in New Mexico. And I also did part-time voice tracking for some stations in Salt Lake City.
Weirdly, she also kind of reminds me of a bullfrog in this, when she kind of just sits back a little and does that. She just looks like a big old bullfrog sitting on a log. Shirley Graff says Helen will pass away a year from this deposition. And yeah, there's some interesting dates in here, because she talk about how she lived with Helen for 2 years up till the day that she died and everything. But then at some point in this, she says, oh, I was staying with my friend. And like, there's things that I wish that I had been writing down dates and things that from before, because I feel like she contradicts herself a lot here with what she's saying, what she said at later dates about Helen Ross. And also, just so people know, I did leave Helen Ross's name in here because we all know who she is, and we all know that her stage name was Zoo Mama. So I left her in here. And yes, R.I.P. Helen. She died on Christmas Day, 2015.
Do you currently do voice tracking still?
No.
How are you currently employed?
Web Sleuths, and I do part-time voice work.
And who do you usually do that part-time voice work for?
It's for a company called Voices Online.
That's interesting. Michelle Salter says her face lit up telling about the radio stuff. It's kind of interesting that to me, because it gives you a hint of who she could have been, if she hadn't turned into a grifter, somebody who felt passionate about radio. And you know what I mean? Like, it's a shame that these people get so broken that they end up being how they are. when, at some point, if the terrible things that had happened to them that made them become this hadn't happened, we get little glimpses of who they might have been, right? And I mean, say what you want about Tricia, she's a weird little powerhouse in a way, right? She has had this web sleuth thing going on for 15 years now. And, in spite of everything, she's still going.
Do you get paid by the hour for that work?
Yes, I do.
And how much do you get paid per hour?
$230.
Approximately how many hours a month do you do work for Voices Online?
Between 3 and 4 hours a month.
And how long have you done work for Voices Online?
Can I get a clarification? They've changed names. I've been doing the same thing for the same people, but their company has changed names. So does that matter? Or?
No, I understand. For the people that were associated with that company from when it was the previous company to now it's Voices Online.
I actually started doing that, I think, part-time, just barely at the end of 1999. And I continue to this day.
So she does little things like that, right? Where she's like, oh, do I need to be really clear about this here? And it kind of lends to the idea that she is going to be truthful and careful about things and going to tell the truth about everything, because she's going to all this trouble to make sure that you understand that it's the same. Hey, Christina Mack, I have an emoji especially for you. But I can't make it go because anyway, I put in the emoji for you. And I lost track again. Christine, I don't know what you do. You always knock me off my game. I get so excited. Anyway, yeah, I forgot what I was saying. So we'll just carry on.
Have you had any other full-time or part-time employment from 2001 to the present day besides Web Sleuths and Voices Online?
Yes.
And where was that?
Petco.
And what were the approximate dates of your employment at Petco?
August 2011. And I just recently took a leave of absence.
Are you a full-time employee at Petco?
No.
So you get paid by the hour?
Yes.
And how much?
I think it's $10, $9.85, something like that.
What are your job duties at Petco?
Cashier, taking care of the animals, and customer service.
And you said you recently took a leave. When did you take that leave?
May 2014.
And what was your reason for that?
Objection form. You can answer.
I'm to help care for a sick friend.
When did you first become associated with the websleuths.com site?
Chuck Anderson's granddaughter says, Penny, this rocks. And I got to tell you, I've been pretty excited about this all week. I found out on Monday that I could get a hold of it, and I've been very excited. So I'm glad you're all here to share it with me.
1999.
And in what capacity did you become associated with the site?
I went on there to read about the John Benny Ramsey case.
So you were just a member at that point?
No.
What was you were just viewing the page then?
Yes.
Okay. And at what?
That radio is so great. I love this for us. I love this for us too. And that reminds me, right? This, I have clean copies of all of this. And so Jolene, Jay, allegedly, Olop, Dreamfeed Media, anybody who wants a copy, once this one goes public on Saturday, I will be very happy to share the clean copies with people. So just to say, hey, Janice Ballet Flats, glad you could make it.
What point did you go from just viewing the page to becoming a member of the site?
I can't remember.
There was some time when you did become a member, correct?
Yes.
And then there was some time after the point where you became a member that you became, I guess, an owner of the site?
Yes.
And tell me about how that came.
Objection form.
The owner of the site contacted me in 2003 and wanted to sell it. I almost bought it. I didn't. And then in 2004, I was contacted again and purchased it.
And what was the name of the previous owner?
That I don't remember. Terry. I'm sorry, I don't
That's
remember.
okay. Do you remember how much you paid for the rights to the site?
I paid Terry $1,500. Excuse me, I paid Terry $1,000, and I paid her partner $500.
Do you remember the name of the partner?
Carol, but I don't remember her last name.
And did you take a loan out to purchase the website, or do you use your own money?
I used my own money.
And how long? Strike that. Were you the only owner of the website from the time you bought it from Terry and her partner through the time when you sold an interest to Miss Pruitt?
Yes.
Did you ever have any discussion?
That's what I thought, Kresha. Kresha says Tricia can't refute this nugget like she passively aggressively did recently about Jolene. I assume it sounded like she aimed it at her. Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Like, you can try to fudge things and whatever, but if people see this and then they still want to go and believe her, then some people don't want to have their minds changed, and that's the way that is. But I feel like it's a good thing to get this out there for people to see it, because this is who she is.
With anyone else besides Miss Pruitt prior to entering into the business relationship with Miss Pruitt about anybody else purchasing any interest from you?
Not that I recall.
Aw. Lovely.
When was the first time you met Sue Pruitt?
Well, the first time I actually met Sue was in February 2012.
That was the first time y'all met in person?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes?
Yes, sir.
When was the first time you came to know Sue Pruitt?
Oh, I'm trying to think the date. I don't remember the date. I'm sorry.
Do you remember the circumstances, how you came to know her?
Yes.
And what were those?
We do fundraisers for searches, and one of the groups we work with, the Class Kids organization, had a search, and they needed food. And so we would ask our members to call restaurants and purchase food for the searchers. And Sue came forward and was purchasing food for the searchers.
And you found out she purchased food for the searchers how?
We kept a track of it, and she contacted me and said she wanted to help.
Did she contact you through some sort of messaging system through the website?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Right? She contacted her and wanted to help, because this is Tricia's pattern, right? She dry bags and she dry bags and she dry bags and she dry bags until people reach out to her and offer to help. She also wet bags, but it seems like she feels more comfortable, like straight up begging for the website. And the dry begging is more about her own personal problems.
Do you remember if she told you how she got your contact information?
No.
So at some point after you met Miss Pruitt, you and she decided to engage in a business relationship, correct?
Yes.
And tell me how that came about. Who approached who in that situation?
Objection form.
Was that
I
the first?
honestly can't remember.
Do you remember approximately when you began discussing?
Was that the first objection form? What is Kresha says? She uses IP addresses by her own admission to see if law enforcement is looking at web sleuths. Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Questions about her purchasing an interest in the web sleuth site?
It may have been in February or March of 2011.
And were these discussions through the telephone? Were they email? Were they through messages on Web Sleuths? What form were those discussions in?
Telephone and email, I believe.
And tell me about what you recall from the discussions between you and Ms. Pruitt regarding her purchase of a portion of the website.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, I just was curious about your recollection of any discussions you had with Ms. Pruitt about her purchase of your interest in the Web Sleuths website. Anything you recall about those conversations?
Just that I believe she said she was looking for something to do, something she wanted to become involved with. And I talked to her about my situation, how I felt I had taken the website as far as I could have, and I needed somebody to come in and invest. And that's about it.
And why did you need somebody to come in and invest into the website?
We needed upgrades and things that I couldn't do that cost money. We needed the advertising fixed, things like that I could not do at the time.
Was the website making any money prior to?
Christina says, is it weird that I wonder what her childhood trauma was that led her to choose the grift allegedly? No, not at all. I mean, that's the whole reason I watched the whole reason I watched the Mormon Stories podcast with Lauren Matthias was to find out what was her trauma. What was the situation? How did she turn out the way she is? Yeah. I mean, in the end, I don't think it makes much difference. She is what she is. And she causes so much harm that the fact that she was traumatized is no longer, in my opinion, a mitigating circumstance. But yeah, I am always curious about exactly what exactly happened to you to make you be this way. Current addictions can do it too, Chuck Anderson says. But this level, but yeah, I guess that's true. But I feel like, have you guys seen the allegedly innocent video where she looks into the whole inheritance grifting laws in Texas and all the just how very much all of Tricia's behaviors line up with inheritance grifting behaviors? Have y'all seen that? Because if you have not, then you definitely need to go and watch it because it is incredibly eye-opening. Kresha says, I'm working up a little profile on her to see if I can get closer to the root cause for why we have Tricia. Yeah, I did not bleep out her family's names. They do come up a bit in here, so. The Sparky Pilot says, I grew up with a family whose mother, father, and 3 sons all were into grifting. I seriously think some people have a tendency to lead toward that, or they were raised with parents that did it. Yeah, you remember that? There was a show called, wasn't it a movie with Angelina Houston? Who am I thinking of? You know who I mean. And I think it was John Cusack, called The Grifters. And they were like a family of grifters. Exactly. Yeah, it's great, right? Everybody's out here slogging their guts out on this stuff. Hot Ham Radio. Difficult research. Krasha says, I'm of the opinion, using my research into generational abuse, trauma, and SRA, that she is from a generational family like Lori Chad, etc. Yeah, I would agree with that, Krasha. I think that's probably too. Yeah, I mean, I think, but also, you know, like I knew a guy when I was a teenager that his name was, it was in the punk rock scene in Vancouver, and we called him Gary Genius because he was like well on his way to spending the whole of his life in prison just for a series of like theft under $200 charges, right? Like that it was just kind of a part of the lifestyle, right? Yeah, there you go. A curious-minded seeker. What was her name? Houston. The last name. I'm saying Angelina, but I know that's not right. It's messing me up. Vancouver, BC. Yes, indeed. Here's to us who are trying to break the generational trauma cycle. Woohoo! Cycle breakers. Angelica. Thank you. Thank you very much, Curious Minded Seeker. That would have bugged me until I had time to go look it up later.
To Miss Pruitt
Yeah.
entering into y'all's business relationship?
Yes.
And how did the website make money?
Advertising.
Approximately how much money did the website make per month prior to you and Miss Pruitt's relationship?
Yeah, Canadian Penny, Chuck Anderson's granddaughter. I'm a Canadian Penny.
Again, this is a guess, but I'm going to say under $1,000 a month. Maybe, and it would depend on the month.
Sorry, I was talking. She's talking about, hi, Sarita. She's talking about how much money Web Sleuths made before she sold half of it to Sue Pruitt.
I can remember how much it started to make, but I can't really remember how much it was making in 2011. I'm sorry. I can't
That's
remember.
fine. Was it, do you recall if it was enough to pay the expenses in operating the website?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Do you recall if prior to your relationship with Miss Pruitt, if the website was making enough money to essentially sustain itself, to keep operating?
Yes.
So at some point
There's a True Crime Loser episode where he's talking about Amber Heard, and part of the cross-examination where they say to her, like, basically, so where's your evidence? Where's all your photographs of all the terrible bruising and all the stuff that happened to you? And she's like, I have the pictures. And the lawyer's like, so why didn't you put them into evidence? And she says, I wanted to. And that's kind of the whole answer that she gives. So she never kind of really concedes that if she had those, her lawyers would have definitely put them in. It's just this weird. And that's what I thought of with Tricia, because she will answer questions in one way where she's very clear that she understands exactly what the situation was. She understands exactly what the rules were. She understands exactly what the arrangement was. And then when he starts asking her questions about, then why did you do all these other things? All of her answers make it very clear that she was breaking the rules the whole time, right? Like, I'm not sure how it reminded me of that, but it's this very weird situation where she answers very matter-of-factly throughout the whole thing. And half the time, the things that she's answering matter-of-factly about directly contradict the thing that she just said that she understood completely. And she doesn't see any contradiction. And you can tell when it happens because he kind of just stops for a second. But he rarely actually calls her on it. But I don't think he necessarily have to, right, in this kind of a case.
and Miss Pruitt decided that you both would indeed, I guess, become partners of sorts, correct?
Yes.
And a limited liability company was formed?
Yes.
Whose idea was it to form the LLC, I'll call it?
I don't remember.
Do you remember any discussions about creating the LLC?
Yes.
And what were the substance of those discussions?
That we needed to make it an LLC so we could have protection and make it a business.
Okay.
Right? So she says that as though she understands it. We had to make it an LLC so that we could protect the business separately from our own personal, whatever finances, right? If anything goes wrong, it's the business is liable, not the person. She's saying that she understands that. And then all of her answers about why she did things later was because I didn't understand that.
Was there any discussions about who would be the manager of the LLC?
I can't remember.
Hey.
Do you know who?
Hey, every day with Jay. Glad you could make it. Hang on. You guys are talking too fast. I'm trying to put this one up. Jay, I will have clean copies for you. After this goes, there's 3 videos because it's long. After this goes public on Saturday, I will be very happy to share clean copies.
You drafted documents to create the LLC,
Yeah, I believe it was your client.
Ms. Pruitt?
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yes.
yes. And she presented those documents to you for you to sign,
Yes.
and you reviewed those documents prior to signing them, correct?
Yes.
Did you seek any counsel, either through an attorney or through a friend or anybody else prior to signing the documents Ms. Pruitt presented you with?
My pleasure.
No.
Was the sole reason you decided to sell Ms. Pruitt an interest, part of your interest in the Sleuths website, was that solely because the site needed money and needed upgrades, or was it because also you needed money?
Objection. Form. Can you ask?
I can ask a better
two different
question.
questions?
Is the sole reason, let me back up.
I get the very distinct impression that these two lawyers kind of like each other.
A little bit. You said that you needed an investor because the website needed upgrades and maintaining and things like that, correct?
Yes.
Was that the only reason you needed an investor?
No.
What were other reasons?
The advertising wasn't being utilized properly, I had been told. And the website could be making much more money if we could get somebody that knew how to make the advertising work in a better fashion for us. And that's what we needed. I needed that to get the advertising up and running to get more income coming in.
Okay, so your thought was, if I'm understanding, you could get an investor and you would use some of that money to hire somebody to help with the advertising piece?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't that the investor would come in and do work on the advertising. It was you needed money to pay somebody to fix the advertising issues, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Boss lady, this is Sue Pruitt's lawyer.
Marking Exhibit 1 to your deposition. I'm going to hand you a copy of that. If you could look at that document.
Okay, a bullfrog and also a little bit Jabba the Hutt, no? A little bit Jabba the Hutt we got going on here.
Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And this is the sale and purchase agreement entered into between yourself and Ms. Pruitt, correct?
Yes.
And this was to sell 50% interest in the websleuths.com website, correct?
Yes.
And if you go to page 3 of the document, which is Bates labeled Pruitt 0038, in the middle it says paragraph 1.02 consideration. Do you see that?
Yes.
And it shows, or it states, that Ms. Pruitt was to pay you $11,000, correct?
Yes.
And that was in exchange for your 50% or for 50% interest in the website, correct?
Yes.
And did she indeed pay you the $11,000?
Yes.
And what did you do with that money?
Objection. Form.
I'll re-ask a question.
So this normal Idaho mom says, yeah, there does seem to be some professional rapport between the attorneys. Part of me hates that. At some point, I found myself saying, you two should get a room. So I think it's a little more than rapport. Just saying.
You received $11,000 from Ms. Pruitt in exchange for the 50% interest of the Sleuths website, correct?
Yes.
And how did you spend that $11,000?
Objection. Form. You can answer this email.
I believe I pay bills, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
Okay.
She
Bills.
has no memory. No memory. She has no memory. $11,000. She had all this list of things that needed to be done for the for the website, and she's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I guess I must have paid bills with that 11 grand.
Electric bills, things of this nature, personal bills.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Do you remember paying anybody out of this $11,000 to come into Web Sleuths and help fix the advertising problems?
Out of this 11?
Agreed.
No.
Do you remember using any portion of the $11,000 Miss Pruitt paid you to upgrade the web sleuth servers?
Mm,
No,
not that I remember.
no.
Do you remember using any portion of the $11,000 Miss Pruitt paid you to perform upgrades to the web sleuth site?
No.
No, I don't. No, not that I remember.
It's so awesome. These are literally things that she just listed as her reasons for needing the investment in the web sleuths. And now she's like, no, I didn't spend the money on that. No, I don't think so. No.
If you could turn to page 9 of the document in front of you, and it's Pruitt 0044. At the bottom is paragraph 6.01a. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes?
I'm sorry, where is it again?
It's at the bottom, and it's paragraph 6.01. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And portion A of 6.01 states a bill of, I'm sorry, let me back up. It's paragraph 6.01 begins with, at the closing, seller shall execute, if appropriate, and shall deliver to purchaser a bill of sale in a form acceptable to purchaser, sufficient to convey to purchaser all rights, title, and interest in and to all of the inventories, fixtures, equipment, and items of personality being sold to purchaser under the terms of this agreement. That was a really bad reading of that, but you followed along, and my apologies to the court reporter for reading so fast. Do you recall issuing a bill of sale to Ms. Pruitt?
I don't know.
You don't recall?
Yeah, she doesn't remember. And in some ways, okay, so she does this a lot. This I don't know, I don't recall, I don't remember, I don't remember. And I'm sort of a little bit torn between she's lying because she's covering her ass, and the fact that maybe she genuinely doesn't remember. Bye, Christina. See you later. Say hi to your kid for me. And tell him, yeah, break a leg out there on the pitch. Or if she genuinely doesn't remember, because it seems like, I mean, she didn't care, right? She wanted the money, and she was willing to agree to whatever to get that money. So in some ways, it does sort of ring true to me that she doesn't remember, because she wasn't paying attention. She didn't care. What she cared about was the 11 grand, and she was prepared to agree to anything to get it.
I don't recall.
Okay. Going to page 11, which is base label Pruitt 0046. At the top, Article 8. Tell me when you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You're there?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not giving her grace. Grecia's saying, don't let her manipulate you, Penny. She's manipulative to the core. But yeah, I mean, I think genuinely part of the manipulation is like agreeing to all that and coming up with all these reasons why she needed all that money, and just so that she could get the money, basically, right? Yeah, and it might be a mix. Yeah. I mean, I suspect it probably is a bit, but that's one of the things with these people, right? Jolene is always saying, using the Judge Judy thing, right? Of like telling the truth. Tell the truth. It's a lot easier to remember things if you just tell the truth, right? And I think that she like Lauren, like all of these type of manipulators, they just say what suits them in the moment, right? And then later, they don't remember what they said because they're just constantly trying to get out of whatever, hot water they've gotten themselves into, right? That is, yeah. So did everybody see the new emoji? I made a Deposition Tricia emoji.
Yes.
Okay. It says obligation of seller and purchaser. Do you see that?
Yes.
Both seller and purchaser immediately upon closing shall transfer all interest in this agreement to websleuths.com LLC by appropriate legal documents. Do you see that?
Yes.
And what is your understanding of that?
To transfer everything into websleuths.com LLC name.
Okay. So you understood that websleuths.com LLC was a company whereby the websleuths.com website was its asset, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if you complied with this term of the document?
Do I know if I can you repeat that?
Yeah, that's a bad question. After signing this document, Was there anything in the websleuths.com name or your name relating to the website? Any assets?
After signing this?
Right.
Yeah, I'd say it one more time.
Sure. When you signed this document, there were assets that belonged to the website that were in your name, correct?
Yes,
And there were assets that belonged to the website that might have been in a websleuths.com DBA type name, correct?
yes,
Were all the assets that related to the website either in your name or in some other DBA type name, were those all those assets eventually transferred pursuant to this agreement into the websleuths.com LLC name?
eventually, yes.
When
Eventually, yes, but she had to be forced to do it, even though she signed and agreed that she would turn all that stuff over immediately, because there's liabilities, right? If you don't put it into the company name. So she didn't do it, and she was forced to. She had to be forced to. The other thing I wanted to say is yesterday in my travelings around on the interwebs, I came across a blog that I'm not sure if it's still active or not. I don't think it is, but it was somebody who was very, very much defending Tricia. And one of the things that they were saying was how, Sue was just this terrible person and whatever. And one of the problems they had with Sue was that she never went to Tricia and said, these are problems. We need to discuss these problems, and then we can fix things and move forward. No, she just suddenly sued her out of nowhere. And it becomes very clear throughout this that, in fact, Sue reached out repeatedly to try to straighten out these problems. And Tricia kept saying whatever she needed to say. Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, is that? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I won't do that again. I apologize. But she just kept on doing exactly the same thing over and over and over and over and over again.
if you can recall, was the final, I guess, asset transferred into the websleuths.com LLC?
I think it was April or May of 2013, maybe June 2013.
Okay. And then if you could just flip to the last page, which is page 13, it's Pruitt 0048. At the very bottom, is that your signature there?
Mhm.
That's a yes?
I'm sorry, yes.
And it says signed and duplicate originals May 1st, 2011, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to hit it with the record?
Sure, we can. But you know what? We're going to, I'll stack them up.
Well, that makes sense. Every Day with Jay says that blog. Every Day with Jay is for Justice. Oh, okay, I get it. Your name now. That blog is Tricia. So yes, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm still incredibly gullible, even though I've been through so much with these people.
Stack them up here so we don't have to worry about there's going to be more.
She just seems supremely unbothered, even though she's being unmasked as a complete liar and a thief and a fraud and a fake and all the rest of it. And she's just, look at her, look at that expression. Look at that expression, eh? Wow.
I'm showing and marking Exhibit 2 to your deposition. I'm going to hand that to you. Have you ever seen this document before?
Yes.
And what do you recognize this document to be?
The regulations of the websleuths.com LLC.
And do you understand this document to be the rules, I guess you would say, that you and Miss Pruitt would agree to follow in y'all's relationship?
Yes.
And this document was presented to you by Miss Pruitt?
Yes.
And you read this document prior to signing it?
Yes.
Was there any type of I guess, drafting stage where she would send you a draft of this document, you would read it, maybe have some changes, send it back to her, and then she would shoot the changes back over to you, anything like that?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember ever telling her prior to signing this document, hey, Sue,
Rachel D says Trish looked like Chris Farley for a second there in that freeze frame. So far we have Chris Farley, Jabba the Hutt, and a bullfrog. So looking good, Trishy, chubby Trishy.
I want to include XYZ in the regulations of websleuths.com LLC?
Not in the regulations, no.
Okay. If you could turn to page 4 of the regulations, which is Pruitt 0018 at the bottom. You see where it says section 2.6, capital and capital accounts?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Did either you or Ms. Pruitt put money that would be considered capital into the websleuths.com LLC?
Is this for cash? You mean, did the cash go into the bank or?
Sure. Did either you or Ms. Pruitt contribute cash that would be considered capital pursuant to this section?
It's kind of a legal.
Yeah, I mean, objection to legal conclusion. And
I don't know if she did anything legally like that. I don't know.
Okay. At the time of signing this document, your understanding was that who was the manager? That was horrible. At the time of signing this document, what was your understanding as far as who would be the manager of the LLC?
It was my understanding that I would be the managing partner.
This part is awesome. So I'm not going to, I'm trying not to interrupt too much because I want people to actually hear what she's saying. And I have a lot to say, but I also want people to hear it. But this part is quite interesting. So she's saying, I thought I was the managing partner. And, as it turns out, she was never the managing partner. There was no language about her being a managing partner. She just either made that up or she just decided she was going to be the managing partner. I think she just basically the whole time just was of the mindset that it was hers, right? And that whatever Sue Pruitt was doing was just whatever, right? That she didn't really have to pay attention because she was the whatever her word is here, the head manager. She's not the head, but there's no language in the thing anywhere, right? Yes, she basically just stole $11,000, and that's just the beginning. Mandy, keep listening.
And Sue and I would be the managers on WebSleuths.
And when you say the managers on WebSleuths, meaning the website, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it was your understanding that you would manage the limited liability company, correct?
I don't know. I don't know. I was just the managing partner. That's what I was listed as, whatever that entails. So
Do you know what duties you would have as the managing partner?
No.
yes, my understanding of the managing partner was that if there was a disagreement that, and depend, again, this depends on, I guess there's a lot of variables, that I could be the one to break the tie, was my understanding.
So it was your understanding that your vote kind of overruled any other vote, correct?
Well,
Right? It's not her understanding. She doesn't seem to understand any of it. It's like that's how she sees it, is that Web Sleuth is hers, right? She doesn't even understand her role. Jay says, yeah, exactly. Because I don't think she paid any fucking attention to any of the paperwork. She wanted her greedy little mitts on that cash, and she was willing to sign anything to make it happen. That is my opinion. But in her mind, Web Sleuth is hers.
yes.
Okay. Do you remember in your capacity as the manager establishing an individual capital account on behalf of yourself or Ms. Pruitt?
Are you talking about a bank account
Correct.
for the LLC?
Right.
Yes, we did.
Okay. And who established that
Great
account?
minds.
I did.
And how did you do that?
I went to the bank. I took the documents of the LLC and opened the account.
You went to Chase Bank, is that correct?
Yes.
If you could turn to page 8 of Exhibit 2, it's Pruitt 002.
I'm sorry, what page is it?
0022.
Oh, 022. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I would 100% agree with that, boss lady. Boss lady says she had no intention of doing anything for Susan Jace to take her money. That's it. That's all. I think that's absolutely 100% right. She just was like, whatever. Yes, whatever. $11,000. Yes, I agree to that. Yes, I'm going to get $11,000. Yes, I agree to that. And she never intended to make a single change.
Okay.
And she didn't until she was literally forced to.
Okay. You see at the top, section 3.2 says members to make major decisions?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Follow along with me while I read. It says major decisions. No act may be taken, sum expended, decision made, or obligation incurred by the company by the manager, except by the unanimous consent of all members with respect to a matter within the scope of any of the major decisions enumerated below. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next sentence begins, the major decisions include. Do you see that?
Does it say anywhere there that Tricia is the managing director and she gets to have the last final call? No. It says that they both have to agree 50-50.
Yes.
And it begins listing off some decisions, correct?
Yes.
And if you look at number 6, Roman numeral VI, it says borrowing money, correct?
Yes.
While you acted as the manager of the websleuths.com LLC, did you ever incur any loans on behalf of websleuths.com LLC?
No.
Did you ever has any member of the WebSleuths website ever loaned websleuths.com LLC money?
No.
Okay. Okay, if you could turn to Pruitt 0025, it's page 11 of Exhibit 2. You see the top 5.2 says distribution of available cash.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Follow along with me. It says periodically, but not less frequently than at the end of each calendar quarter, the available cash of the company, if any, must be distributed to the members pro rata in accordance with their percentage interest. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. What does that mean to you?
That money should be distributed at the end of the quarter.
Do you have an understanding as to how the money would be split up at the end of the quarter?
I would assume 50%.
So 50% to you and then 50% to Ms. Brew. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
And if you could turn to Pruitt 0032, which is page 18 of Exhibit 2.
What page is it?
0022.
Okay.
Paragraph 9.1 says complete agreement. Do you see that?
Yes.
And it says these regulations and the articles constitute the complete and exclusive statement of agreement among the members with respect to the subject matter described. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And it says these regulations and the articles replace and supersede all prior agreements by and among the members or any of them. Do you see that?
Yes.
And do you see it says these regulations and the articles supersede all prior written and oral agreements, and no representation, statement, condition, or warranty not contained in these regulations or the articles is binding on the members or has any force or effect whatsoever. Do you see that?
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It means that this is the document that we go by.
Do you understand it to mean that this document controls how you and Miss Pruitt will engage in business together?
Right? This is one of those ones where she says, yes, it means that this is the document that we go by. And then he says, so this is the document that governs how you do business together. And she goes, no. It's literally what she just said.
I don't, honestly, no, that doesn't mean that to me.
Okay. You said it means that this document is what we go by. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, if we have questions about how things are to be done, we can go to this document.
Okay.
Okay, the dog's giving me the stink eye, so I think maybe he needs to go out. So I'm just going to let it play for a minute, and I'm going to take the dog outside for a sec. I'll be right back.
Who was responsible for keeping the records of websleuths.com LLC?
Objection 4.
Okay.
If you know.
What records?
Who was responsible for keeping the accounting records of websleuths.com LLC?
As Sue Pruitt.
And why do you believe it was Sue Pruitt's responsibility?
Because we agreed that she would come in with her business knowledge to the LLC and show me what to do and train me in the business. That's why I brought her in, was because of her business knowledge.
Did you feel that you weren't quite equipped to manage accounting and things like that for a business?
Equipped, I wouldn't use that word. I would say I needed to know, to be taught how to do it.
Who prepared or caused to be prepared the tax returns for websleuths.com LLC for the year 2011?
Sue Pruitt.
And was that at your request that she did that?
It was our agreement that she would do that.
What about the tax returns for 2012? Who was responsible for filing those?
Sue.
And the tax returns for 2013, who was responsible for filing those?
Well, according to your client in her deposition, she said she was, but I got an email saying that from your client saying that here is a tax information. I need my K1. So I took it upon myself to contact the accountant.
Who's the accountant that you contacted?
I can't remember his name, but it's the one that Sue, it's a family friend of Sue's that they've used before.
And do you know if he had prepared the previous tax returns for the LLC?
I believe so.
Okay. And if you could look at the second to last page, it's page 20 of Exhibit 2. It's Pruitt 0034.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dated May 1st, 2011, correct?
Yes.
And that's your signature above where it says Patricia Griffith, correct?
Yes.
And then if you
Also, for those of you who are like, this is so cold and she's so whatever, this is at 1.25 speed. So it seems very draggy and slow to me.
turn the page, you see the page that says Exhibit A.
Yes.
Case label Pruitt 0035. And it says member Patricia Griffith, percentage ownership 50%, correct?
Yes.
And Susan Pruitt, percentage of ownership 50%, correct?
Yes.
Is it your understanding that you and Miss Pruitt each had a 50% interest in the LLC?
Yes.
All right, we'll stack that up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mandy's asking, did Sue make any money back? So not during the time that they were running it. Tricia was just bleeding the thing dry. But they settled in the end. And, you know, it was, I mean, I don't know. The only thing we have to go by, I think, in terms of amounts is from Tricia herself. But she claims that Helen Ross paid somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 grand in lawyer's fees, which I think is bullshit, right? What she did was she paid to settle the thing and buy Web Sleuths back for Tricia, basically.
Yeah, can we take a quick break?
Sure, we can take a break.
We are off the record. The time is 10:55 a.m.
So Mandy, Sue didn't get anything. So it's going to come up. You're going to. I might have missed it while I let the dog out, but I think it's going to come up. Is that they had arranged that Tricia was allowed to take some income, but that Sue would not until they got things up and running and there was enough money to keep everything going and for them to both comfortably take an income from it. So that was part of their agreement. And that was part of her investment, right? On top of the $11,000, whatever income, like whatever Tricia was taking, eventually she would get her share of that. But until things got going, no. Only Tricia was taking money.
Okay, we are back on the record. The time is 11:10 a.m.
Ms. Griffith, did I say that right, Griffith?
Yes.
Okay. We're back from a break, and you understand you're still under oath, correct?
Yes.
It's my understanding that websleuths.com, the site, has different categories of people who interact with the website, correct?
Sorry, that'll be a year, right, Kresha? So Kresha's saying if it's not too exploitative to do on May 17th, should we change our profile pics for the day to honor Janet Beth B using her photo? What's the consensus here? I don't know. Maybe I should make a poll. But yeah, that's her. That will be the anniversary of her death. It's coming right up. Yes, 1 year. The anniversary of Beam Me Up, Scotty.
I don't know what you mean.
Let me ask you this. There are people who are classified as members, correct?
Yes.
And members, my understanding is they can view posts and some can make posts on the forum, correct?
All members can make posts on the forum, yes.
Okay. Do you have to be a registered member in order to make a post on the forum?
Yes.
And there are also moderators on the websleuths.com site, correct?
Yes.
What does a moderator do?
Make sure that the members are following the rules. If somebody alerts on a post, a moderator will go and check to see if it needs to be removed.
And there are also people who have the title administrator, correct?
Yes.
What do administrators do?
Administrators have the ability to time people out, to ban people, to make decisions that when a moderator needs help.
And what do you mean time people out? What is that?
If somebody is misbehaving, we will tell them we're going to block their account for a day or two until they calm down.
And a moderator doesn't have that ability, correct?
Not a moderator, no.
Approximately how many moderators are on the Web Sleuth site currently?
Are you talking,
Well, that
including?
sounds like they're on there right now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How many?
Are you including the administrators? And because everybody's a moderator of some sort. So do you want the whole amount?
So administrators are also moderators,
Yes.
correct? But moderators are not administrators.
That's it.
Okay. How many people who are just moderators?
Okay, I'm gonna have to count. Hold on.
Just approximately.
And we do have a super moderator category.
Okay. What does a super moderator do?
A super moderator, I believe, does have the ability to time people out, not to ban them.
Okay. How many just moderators?
That's a great point, Chuck Anderson. She knows more what a moderator is supposed to do than a manager. Yeah, she knows everybody else's job. She has no idea what her own job is.
I'm gonna have to, oh, and I apologize. There is another category. It's a mini mod.
A mini moderator. And what do they do?
They don't really have a whole lot. They just help with the alerts.
What are alerts?
That is when somebody alerts on a post that they believe has violated our terms of service.
Okay. All right. So just moderator, regular moderator title, not
Okay.
committee.
Hold on. I'm going to have to go through and count
Go
them.
ahead.
So hold on. Let's see. There's okay. There is Fran.
You're going to speak.
No, I'm not. I'm just talking in my head. I'm going to write it down here. So
Just talking.
that's confusing.
Let me ask you this. Is it less than 20 people?
Less than 20 actual moderators, yes.
Okay. And then administrators, is that number less than 10?
Yes.
Super moderator, is that number less than 10?
Yes.
And then mini moderator, is that number less than 10?
Yes.
And you mentioned the terms of service. Is everybody who is a registered member, moderator, administrator, super moderator, mini moderator, does everybody have to apply or does everybody have to follow the terms of service?
Can you read the list of people again, please, that follow the terms of service?
Members, moderators, administrators, super moderator, and mini moderator. Do they all have to follow the terms of service?
No.
Who does not have to follow the terms of service of that group?
It all depends on the situation. An administrator may not have to for a reason. There's a million different situations that it may happen.
Can you just give me one example of when an administrator doesn't have to follow the terms of service?
Let's say they know a person connected to a case that doesn't want to reveal their identity. Perhaps it's a detective or something like that. If an administrator came to me and said, I know a detective on this case and he says I can post this about this case on the forum, can I go ahead and do that? I would say, well, yes, if you can vouch for that person, yes. But they don't have to tell the members this person is a detective and I can vouch for him. They just say, I have information that's been confirmed. We don't have to prove to them that we've confirmed it. That would be one example.
So in that example, if it wasn't an administrator, if it was just a regular member that posted that type of posting without, I guess, hard facts or evidence, and Web Sleuths was not able to confirm it, y'all would take that post down?
Yes.
Okay. What type of classification do you have on the website? Is it something other than administrator or moderator?
I'm co-owner, manager.
And I guess your abilities as far as the website go is you can go anywhere on the website and you can pretty much do anything, correct?
Yes.
You have more abilities than the administrators, correct?
Yes.
And is that the same with Miss Pruitt?
Yes.
So you and she have the same level of, I guess, unrestricted access to the website, correct?
Yes.
Tricia was talking about her husband and what that must have been like, and I don't really know anything about Tricia. You know, I'm sort of learning as I go along with a lot of you probably. But there's a point out in this at which she talks about, I can't remember which video it's in, if it's this one or later, one of the other two, but where she talks about taking a loan out of a family trust that would eventually affect how much she inherits, right? There's a family trust and then everybody takes from it. And then eventually it's all going to get added up, right? Who took what kind of thing. So clearly she comes from some affluence, right? So it's curious that she's such a hand-to-mouther. But I mean, that goes hand in hand with being a gambling addict for sure. But it was just interesting to me. I had really not, if I had pictured anything at all, I would have pictured her maybe coming from a working class background. Yeah, right. Right. It's like Lauren taking notes when Dr. John talks. Like, what are you going to do with that? Nothing. You're just trying to make yourself look important.
Handing you what's been marked as Exhibit 3 to your deposition. Do you recognize the first page of this?
Yes.
And what is this document?
It's a Web Sleuths etiquette and information.
Is this part of the terms of service or is this separate?
It's in a forum called the rules, so it's kind of all lumped together.
Does everybody have to abide by these rules?
No.
There are exceptions when people don't have to abide by these rules?
Yes.
Okay. Let's take, for example, soliciting financial assistance. Do you see that?
Yes.
Can you take a moment to look at this paragraph and let me know after.
Okay, this is the part where it starts to get good because this is the talking about soliciting money from Web Sleuths members. And then we're soon going to get into the details of what she took from whom.
After you've had a chance to read it, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Can you think of an example of when this rule would not apply to somebody or a situation?
Yes.
And go ahead and give me that example.
Objection form. Go ahead.
If we had decided to do a fundraising campaign, which we have done in the past for class kids, where we would set up a thread asking people to donate to class kids, something like that.
Do you know who created these etiquette and information, this posting?
I can't remember.
If you flip to Pruitt 0011, it's the second to last page of Exhibit 3. At the bottom, it says last edited by Sosumi.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yes.
7/28/13 at 5:20 p.m. Do you see that?
Yes.
That just means that this member or the screen name edited something in these rules.
Yes.
Do you know who Sosumi is?
Yes.
And who is that?
It's your client.
Okay. So if Miss Pruitt made a change to these rules, is that something that you and she would typically consult on?
No.
Molly Colleen says she creates fundraisers to pocket money, in my opinion, allegedly. And I wanted to ask Tricia, is she still attempting to raise funds off of your family?
Yes and no. Yes, I would assume she consulted me, but I don't remember her consulting me.
Okay. So you don't remember a specific situation where she consulted you on this, right?
Correct.
Typically, y'all might consult on something like this, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been a bed? As you sit here today, are you aware of any situation where somebody was in violation of the soliciting financial assistance paragraph that you just read on this document?
Are you aware of anyone at all, Tricia, anyone at all, who didn't stick to the no soliciting funds from Web Sleuths members rule? Are you aware of anybody breaking that rule, Tricia?
On Pruitt 0006.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. As you sit here today, can you recall a situation where either a Web Sleuths member, moderator, administrator, or anybody related to the site violated the soliciting financial assistance rules on Pruitt 0006, Exhibit 3?
I can't remember.
Okay.
She can't remember. She can't remember if anybody at all solicited funds from members, either in a wet way or in a dry way. She just doesn't remember.
And if you could flip to Pruitt 0008, a couple pages over on Exhibit 3. You see in the middle where it says posting personal contact information?
Yes.
And it says members may not post personal contact information such as home address, home telephone number, work telephone number, etc. in the forums. Anyone, including guests to Web Sleuths, can read the public forums. This policy is in place for your safety and protection. Do you see that?
Yes.
Can you think of any exceptions to that rule?
Yes.
And would you explain the exceptions you can think of?
Since the day I became owner, I have put down my address that shows up in every one of my posts. I did that. So
Just in case anybody wanted to send her any presents or anything, just for being her, just for being Tricia. Maybe somebody would want to send her some presents. I mean, if they didn't put up her address, how would people send her presents?
people could contact me if they had a problem about the forum. I wanted people to be able to have access to me. It
Yeah, it's like she swallowed Stacy in this picture.
is my mailing address, but that's always been there in case anybody needed to contact me.
And so that's been there since you.
Right? Because see, you couldn't possibly have a info@websleuths.com email address where everybody could contact you in case of anything, right? We couldn't have that. No, we need to have my mailing address. And it has to be in all of my posts, just in case.
Purchased the site, I guess, in 2004.
Yes.
Okay. And are there any other exceptions you can think besides yourself to that rule?
If we were doing a fundraiser that was approved, yes.
Okay. And if you can go to the first page again of Exhibit 3.
When she's one of the other things that she does a lot when things start getting a little bit hotter, right? When she starts getting asked direct questions about direct amounts of money and stuff, she starts to kind of
Second sentence of the soliciting financial assistance paragraph says, this means both overt, send me money, and subtle, poor me, I could really use some money forms dealing with solicitation of financial assistance, correct?
Yes.
Have you ever, let me ask you this way. Is it your position that you've always complied with the soliciting financial assistance rules that we're looking at?
Well, no, I haven't, if I understand your question correctly.
And tell me,
God, I remember what I was going to say. I totally lost track of my thoughts. She starts doing the plausible deniability thing, right? Where she gives these answers where it's like, it's a cover. And I mean, it could be true, you know, at a stretch, but it's one of the manipulations that these people always use.
situations where you believe you have not complied with the soliciting financial assistance rule.
These were made, this rule was in place after Sue came on board. Before your client was an owner, and when I took over the website, there were times in the years gone by where the forum went down, something like that happened. I would post that I was having financial problems. Long before these rules were in place, I never removed those posts. They're years and years old. So
she didn't mean to just admit that she's been doing this shit for years, but that's what she just admitted because she's trying to get out of trouble. So she's like, this is how they do this, right? They will say whatever it takes to get out of this trouble. But she's not realizing that she's admitting that I have been grifting like this for years. And I didn't bother to delete all my prior grifts before selling half the website to Sue.
came after I made those posts.
Do you remember when this rule was in place?
Objection form. Can you clarify? Was
Sure.
it put in place?
Wait, what was that?
Was it put in place or was it because it's
Sure.
totally in place now?
Well, do you remember when this rule first came to be on the forum?
I don't.
We looked at the date earlier on page Pruitt 0011 that says July 28th, 2013. Do you know if it could have been before this date that this rule first came to be in place on the forum?
It could have been.
Do you remember having any discussions with Ms. Pruitt about the soliciting financial assistance rule?
I don't.
Do you remember having any discussions with Ms. Pruitt about adding a rule dealing with solicitation of financial assistance?
Exactly.
I don't. Sorry.
That's a perfectly acceptable answer.
in my opinion, I do like this lawyer. He's kind of charming and sweet, but he's too accommodating to her, and he doesn't pry at points when I would pry a little more.
Have you ever, after Miss Pruitt came on board and entering in her business relationship with you, have you ever solicited financial assistance from any Web Sleuths member?
No.
And let me clarify that question. That doesn't mean financial assistance for the websleuths.com LLC. I mean, have you ever solicited financial assistance for yourself personally from any Web Sleuths member?
So they've already been through the definition of wet begging and dry begging, right? They've already been through it. So she just lied under oath.
If somebody offered me assistance, I may have taken it.
She may have. She might have. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I'm not sure.
So Web Sleuths members have given you money. I understand you said earlier they gave you money prior to Miss Pruitt, your relationship with Miss Pruitt, but after your relationship with Miss Pruitt, Web Sleuths members have offered to give you money, correct?
Yes.
And you've taken that money, correct?
Yes.
Okay. As you sit here today, can you recall the names of those members that gave you money? And this is dealing only with the time frame after you and Miss Pruitt entered into the websleuths.com LLC regulations. Is that?
So these are all names.
I don't know.
Okay.
All these little blank spots coming up are all names that I bleeped out.
How do you spell his last name from the court?
That I don't know either.
That's fine.
And there was one other woman, and I apologize, I can't remember her real name, but she.
That's her screen name on the Web Sleuths?
Yes.
Do you know how to spell? And is there anybody else?
Zumama.
Zoomama?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know her real name?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Her real name is Helen Ross.
So I didn't bleep Helen's name because we all know who she is and we all know that she was Zoo Mama. So I thought I would just leave that in. Also, she's passed, so nobody is going to go harassing her. I think
And anybody else?
No.
Do you know? I was making her French. Do you know her?
Yes.
Has she ever given you any money?
Yes.
And when was that?
I believe it was before Sue came on board.
Okay.
I tried.
Let's go ahead and go through people who gave you money before Sue Pruitt came on board, but not after Sue Pruitt came on board. In addition to who else?
Objection form. I mean, it's really irrelevant. I mean,
Well, I think it's relevant in the sense that they could have knowledge, one, for receiving money, but
To me, Dental Lori, are you Dental Lori? Are you Lori of the dentist, of Grayson's dentist? She looks like a deeply, deeply malevolent human being to me at certain points throughout this. The expression on her face when she narrows her eyes at the lawyer. Yeah.
But I mean, are you going to instruct her not to answer that question? Okay. So your lawyer is instructing you not to answer my question. And what typically happens in that event is you can do one of two things. You can follow your lawyer's advice, or since you're the client, you can obviously overrule your lawyer.
Okay, Lori, did Grayson ever pay her dental bill? My God. I was, that whole storyline in Grayson's, like, getting billed by my stalker thing was one of the things that made me more angry than anything. Like, oh my God. So, sorry. I just want to know if she ever paid her bill. Terrible woman that she was. My God.
If you follow your lawyer's advice, what could happen is I will ask the question on the record and your lawyer will instruct you not to answer, it seems like in this situation. We will then take the transcript to the judge in this case, and if the judge feels like it's a relevant question that should be answered,
Emerald Smarty, I'm singing that to the She's Got the Eyes of a Stranger.
or at least a discoverable question that should be answered, then he could require you to answer that question and also award Ms. Pruitt attorney's fees relating to the motion that will be filed to have you answer the question. Now, with all that said, let me go ahead and ask the question. Is there anybody in addition to who gave you money prior to you entering into your business relationship with Ms. Pruitt?
Objection form. You can go ahead and answer it, but my objection's on the record.
Well,
go ahead and answer.
okay. There was somebody in 2006, and I apologize, I don't remember her name. She gave me $150.
Do you remember her screen name?
Something with mouse in it.
Okay. Is there anybody else you can recall?
And I want to clarify this is if I remember correctly, because it was so long ago.
Do you remember how much?
I believe it was 110.
I'm going to go back over that video again with Tricia and Grayson because I didn't know all of this about Tricia. At the time that I went over that video, I thought Tricia was just a dumb old lady. I had no idea. So I want to go over the Tricia Grayson video again with all of this in my head and see what I see differently.
Is there anybody else that you can remember affirmatively their names? I don't want you to have to guess.
I don't know the real names. I know there's one other one.
Okay, so you can at least remember one other one.
Mhm.
And it's correct?
Yes.
Okay. Going back to what did she give you?
If I remember correctly, it was $3,100.
Is it possible?
Sorry, that's a lot of dollars. That's a lot of dollars.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That's her name on the form.
Okay. So she gave you $3,100, and what was that money for?
Personal.
Yeah.
Just regular living expenses, things like that?
Yeah.
Just personal, just bills. $3,100 on bills, just personal. She's pretending to be thinking. Yes, Beth Scott, I would agree with you. It's her version of thinking. It's called scamming.
Yes.
In what form did she give you that $3,100? Was it a check? Was it cash? How'd you get that $3,100?
She gave me $500 in a wire transfer, and then the rest of it she put on a Bluebird card.
What's a Bluebird card?
It is an American Express card that you put money on.
It's like a gift card?
Similar, yes.
Okay. And you said, what has he given you?
He gave it through me through PayPal. Oh boy, I can't remember the amounts. One of them was, I think, $4,000. I would have to look.
Okay. Do you know total how much he has paid to you or paid on your behalf to anybody?
No,
Is it more than $20,000, do you think?
it could be.
Could it be more than 50?
Janice is talking about the reminders to get your teeth cleaned being sent out on a Tuesday because the stalkers work on Tuesday. And that is literally one of the details that I remembered, was that it was a Tuesday that Lori was stalking Grayson through the dental office.
$50,000.
No.
So somewhere maybe between $20,000 and $50,000?
Yes.
And that's either money that went directly to you or directly to somebody else, correct?
This is Mr. H. She's talking about Mr. H here. And it was somewhere between 20 and 50. And you know what? It is closer to 50 because there's no way that she would agree that it was between 20 and 50 if it was only like 25 or something like that. So you know that she got close to 50 grand from that guy.
Correct.
Yes.
The moron who gave her all that money, Mandy, is another one of her Web Sleuths members who, you know, believed in her and thought that he was helping her.
Money that he paid directly to you, do you recall what that money was used for?
Personal.
Like, give me some examples.
Dental Lori, that sounds like something that a stalker would do. So I don't know if that's really funny, actually. Dental Lori says that when the text went out, she wasn't even working on Tuesdays anymore. But I think that that's stalker behavior, to change the day that you work, to trick Grayson. I think you're a stalker.
Groceries. Bills.
And there's also been times where he has paid expenses on your behalf, correct?
Yes.
And that's where he has not given you the money directly. He's given it to some third party, correct?
Yes.
And what third parties were those?
Objection form.
I can ask a clearer question, maybe.
Please.
Who has Mr. paid money to on your behalf?
Objection form.
Do you understand the question?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just.
And when I say who, it can be either a person, it can be an entity.
I'm going to object on the basis that a complete answer is covered by privilege.
A complete answer is going to make it clear that some of her Web Sleuths members are paying her lawyer's fees. So we don't want that to come out. Right?
So I would instruct her not to answer that on behalf of privileged information.
Well, maybe I can help ask a question without privilege.
Please.
Aside from payments made to your attorneys, either in this case or any attorneys who represent you in any case, what third parties has Mr. paid money to on your behalf?
My vet. And my gas bill.
Janice Ballet Flat says, no wonder the mice don't scamper when the lights turn on. They're extremely fat from the Doritos. I think that's a good insight, Janice. Thank you for sharing.
And when you say gas bill, do you mean natural gas like at home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that that's a good insight, right? She's just really pissed off that anybody's questioning her about this. Sigma, oh my goodness, nice to see you. Long time no see. I was just wondering about you just the other day. Glad you could make it even if you're just popping in. Oh, I'm sorry that you're sick. That's a bummer. I'm hoping to be back up and snarky again soon. Well, I am hoping you're going to come back too, because you're always got all the good info for the chat. So I hope you're feeling better soon, and I'm glad you were able to pop in. Yeah, I mean, grifting loophole. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer as we go through this.
Okay, the person who will call, what has given you?
When?
This was, well, I had her down as somebody who gave you money or paid an amount on your behalf to some other party. This was after Miss Pruitt came aboard. Is that your recollection?
Yes.
Okay. So from that, beginning with that time period to today, what has she given you either in dollars or has paid on your behalf?
If I remember correctly, it was $250.
And what did
Then why did you ask when?
you do with that money?
Paid bills.
paid bills. That's it. She just paid bills. She bought groceries and she paid bills with somewhere in the neighborhood. Now we're up in the neighborhood of around $70,000 that she's talking about.
And were the discussions with via the telephone? Were they via messaging? Were they via email? How did you discuss that with?
Mostly telephone.
Right? She talked about all this stuff over the telephone with these people so that there wouldn't be any record of her grifting, right? Any record of her begging, soliciting funds, because she signed the little paper saying she wouldn't solicit funds.
So you spoke with the guy on the telephone, but you can't remember her name, right?
I can remember her first name.
What's
She's very, very particular about her name. Her first name.
Okay. And with your discussions with her about giving you money, were those via telephone, email, text message? What form were those in?
Telephone.
And what were said during those telephone conversations?
Objection form. Go ahead, Nancy.
Molly Colleen says, Susan didn't think I'd have the money to fight her, in quotations, because that's what Tricia said. And Susan was right. She didn't have the money to fight her. Her members had the money. Tricia didn't.
Just discussing as friends do our lives. She started offering me money, and I refused at first, and then I accepted.
So when you say you were discussing your lives, what did you say about?
Yeah, shifty eyes, eh? She won't look at him while she's saying it. She doesn't look at him, and then she shifts her eyes around, and then she looks back up again. But yeah. They offered. People just offered her money. She was just sitting there, and people came up and went, Tricia, take all my money. My God. I mean, you're just so amazing. I just want to give you money for no reason at all, just because you're amazing. As friends do. Yeah, she uses that a lot, Beth Scott. As friends do. That's her excuse. That's her dry begging excuse, right? Well, I'm just talking to my friends. Like she's best friends with all of her subscribers.
About your life and your financial situation to Miss Rhodes?
Just talking to her about how difficult it was, and
Like difficulty paying bills?
difficulty living, no insurance, that type of thing.
Did you ever tell her you were having difficulty paying your electric bill?
Objection form.
I don't remember if I specifically said that.
Do you remember if you ever told her you had difficulty paying?
If anybody in the audience can explain to me, like she keeps saying objection form. Like, what is the objection? What is the problem? I don't know what the form of the question is wrong. I get that that's the objection, but why? And then why? Like she keeps answering them anyway. So clearly, like the expectation is that the judge is going to overrule all of those. Yeah, but the form of the question, like, I don't understand how is that objectionable to ask her how she spent the money or whatever, that type of thing. I don't understand how the form of that is objectionable.
In your gas bill?
Objection form.
Again, I don't remember if I specifically.
Do you remember if you told her you had difficulty paying your taxes, either property taxes or income taxes?
Objection form.
I don't remember specifically.
No, she has a lawyer in the background there who keeps going objection form, and her name is Megan Hassan. And she went on to be a judge for a little while, but now she's a lawyer again.
Do you own or rent your home?
I own.
So the thing, Mandy, this is civil court, and it's different, right? So the objection goes on the record, and then later when the judge reviews everything, he decides whether the objection was to be sustained or overruled at that point. and makes his decisions based on whether or not he agreed with the objections.
And that's the home located in Utah?
Yes.
Or she, sorry, the judge, male or female, sorry.
Is that full handwriting? And that's where you currently reside, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you have a mortgage on that home?
It's not a mortgage, no.
What is it?
So she owns her own home. It's not a mortgage. It's a line of equity. Right? That's like a HELOC or whatever, homeowner's line of equity. So she's basically saying she did own the house at some point, and then she took out a loan against the mortgage. So now she's paying back the loan that she took out against the mortgage. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm not 100% on that, but I think that's what's happening.
It's a home equity loan.
Janice says her hair looks like Optus arms. I think you mean octopus arms. She is Ursula, and that's just a weird coincidence because I actually, during the Corey Richens trial, I made a thumbnail of the lawyer Kathy, whatever her name was, as Ursula. So we've got Ursula's thick on the ground over here.
Okay, so from what I understand, you and Rose were discussing just life in general, and you may have made some comments about how it's difficult having no insurance and paying for things in life in general, correct?
Yes.
And then she offered to give you money, correct?
Yes.
And you initially refused it, correct?
Yes.
And then you accepted the money, correct?
Yes.
With do you remember any specific conversations with?
I am sorry, I don't.
And with Mr. Do you remember specific conversations with him about giving you money or paying money on your behalf?
The one thing I specifically remember is for my dogs, for my animals.
Do you remember asking him to pay for your pharmacy prescriptions?
Objection form. Don't answer.
Amy Sue Who says she has to be on drugs or gambling to need this kind of money and nothing to show. Yeah, she later on, it's actually not in this video. There are 3. It's quite long, but she later on declines to answer questions about gambling. So it seems to be most people think, yes, that she has a gambling problem, and that's where all her money goes to.
It's harassing.
I didn't mean it harassing there. I just don't understand why it's harassing.
Because it's very personal and it's irrelevant to the lawsuit.
Well, we're talking about somebody paying money to her on her behalf.
Right.
And you know that's an issue in the lawsuit.
Sure.
So I was just asking, let me ask it this way. If Mr. testifies in this case that you asked him to pay for pharmacy prescriptions on your behalf, is he lying?
He offered.
So no, he's not lying. That's the answer. No, he's not lying.
So from what I understand is you never asked him to pay. He just offered to pay, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever ask Mr. to pay your attorney's fees related to this case on your behalf?
No.
Has Mr. ever offered to pay your attorney's fees in this case on your behalf?
Can answer.
Yes.
She claims so. Like he is a potential witness in this, right? And there's evidence from him saying that he felt like she fleeced him and all this stuff, and it's going to come up later. But she is going to testify. She's testifying that he offered to pay her lawyer's fees, and she's going to testify that he regrets talking to Sue and that those people tricked him. For real. That's what she's going to claim.
And with the cash that Mr. gave you directly. Do you remember the conversation about what that cash was to be used for?
He, M, is Mr. H. We're talking about Mr. H. I am not telling names.
Yes.
And what were the substance of those conversations?
I was to pay back 2 people.
And was that to pay back the approximately $3,100 that you referred to earlier, or was that for something else?
The 31.
Okay. When did you have that discussion with Mr. Hagenstad?
Oh, sorry. Oh, sometime in 2013.
Was it before or after the filing of this lawsuit?
Before.
Was it before or after?
So are you catching that? I want to make sure people are catching that. She took money off of Mr. H to pay back other people that she scammed off of because he felt like that was the agreement, that he was giving her money so she could pay off these other debts. Right? Because I guess that she had taken money from other people. Maybe those were supposed to be a loan. And now she's adding those to the things she doesn't have money to pay back. And he's like, well, we'll just pay off all your debts and you can have a nice clean slate. That's what it seems like to me.
You received a letter from an attorney on behalf of Miss Pruitt.
It was after.
And you said it was somebody else who you...
It's wild, eh, Janice? Janice says she has her grift down to a science. It's unbelievable how many people empty their pockets to her. Considering that she is, like, to me, I find her repellent. Like, I want to get away from her. How she manages to fool so many people, I will never understand.
You owed money to?
Yes.
Who is he?
Exactly.
He is an administrator on Web Sleuths, and he also does our technical work, did our technical work.
Oh, is that his name?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you owe him money for?
In 2008 or 2009, I don't remember the year, he paid for the server fee.
And so...
Just to be clear, this is another guy. This is not Mr. H anymore.
approximately how much did he pay for the server fee, if you remember?
I think it was around $1,600.
And from 2009 until 2013, did you have any discussions with him about paying that money back?
Yes.
And what?
Okay, so Boss Lady says if you don't know her, she comes across a bit ditzy, but charming and silly. So money rolls in. Yes, but I clearly she does to some people. She never came across to me as charming and silly. I always found her kind of just boring and dumb would be how I found her. I didn't think she was charming or interesting or anything. I can see that lots of people do, and obviously we're not all the same. But I can't imagine what people see in her. I genuinely can't.
What type of discussions did you have with him? What was the substance of those
Apart from like the car crash thing, I'm not being able to look away.
discussions?
I offered to make payments. He said no, to pay him back when I had the full amount and not to worry about it.
She tried to pay him back. He didn't want the money. She tried. It's not her fault. She's never at fault here. That's the other thing. She starts to, when she talks about Sue, well, Sue said I could do this, and she said I could do that, and she said I wasn't supposed to do this, and she said I wasn't supposed to do that. So if she's like the controlling manager, how come she's asking permission from Susan for everything, right? She tries to make it like she's just this innocent person who's sort of being buffeted around by these wily, manipulators. It's wild.
Approximately when did those conversations happen?
I think 2010, 2009, 2010, and in 2011, I asked him to set up a PayPal account to put money in it for me to pay him back, and he ignored it.
And those conversations, those take place over the telephone or through email?
Mostly telephone.
Did you catch that? She even set up a PayPal account for him so that she could put money into it and pay him back, and he ignored it. That's how much he didn't want her to pay him back.
On one email.
And you said there was another person named Helen Ross who is Zoomama?
Yes.
I like that name.
So just to be clear for everybody, look at that face. She is supposed to, because he just said he likes the name Zoomama, I think, and that's why she's smiling like this. Oh, God, I've lost track of what I was going to say again. Jesus, what is wrong with my brain? Is this just getting old? Is this what it is? Is there just going to be more of this? Forgetting more and more?
When did Miss Ross give you money or pay money on your behalf?
Oh, yes. What I was going to say is, according to her, she should have been living with Helen at this point, because she said that she lived with her for 2 years up until she died at the end of 2015. So we're in September 2014 here, right? And she is not living with Helen. So there are, like, just to say, right, all of the things that she says, most of them have to be taken with a grain of salt.
If I remember correctly, it was in 2010.
How much did she give you or
I-
pay on your behalf?
I can't remember.
Do you remember what you used the money for?
Bills and such.
And such is the one-armed bandit.
And were those conversations emails, text messages, telephone calls? How did those happen?
Telephone calls.
Going back to, do you remember how it came about that he paid? Did he give you money for the server, or did he pay it directly himself?
He paid it directly himself.
And do you remember how it came about that he paid it? What was your conversations with him like?
If I remember correctly, at one point he offered, and at one point I took him up on it.
Do you know why he offered?
Yeah, just for no reason. Just for no reason. People just come up to her that are her subscribers and they just offer to give her money for no reason. She wasn't soliciting them. People just like her. She's very likable.
A nice guy.
Do you remember telling him anything about your financial situation prior to him paying for the server fee?
I could have. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. He just gave me some money. I don't know why.
So with Zoomama Helen Ross, with what's his website name, by the way?
I don't. He is not on. I think on Web Sleuths.
Okay.
He doesn't go on.
And with, do you know her website name? Okay. So with all those people that I just listed, essentially, if I'm understanding, these are people who offered to give you money, correct?
Yes.
You never asked them to give you money, correct?
No.
You never asked them to pay any third party on your behalf, correct?
If they offered, I took it.
But you never solicited
If they offered, I took it. Ugh.
money from them or to be paid on your behalf, correct?
No.
So if any of the people we just listed,
She's just sitting there saying that these people all just offered her money for no reason, and she never solicited money from them. It's just insane. Hi, Inner Psychic. Glad to see you.
come to testify in this case that you asked them for money, they would be lying, correct?
Objection form. Go ahead.
I don't know if they'd be lying or not. They offered and I accepted.
Right? Janice Ballyflat says, I would feel so cringy taking money from a friend, right? and she doesn't feel cringy about it. And that is what is so revealing about this, right? She feels okay about this, right? Curious minded seeker, the tone, she's so entitled. Yeah, she feels entitled to this money. Cringe? No. I mean, even though she's one of the cringiest people I have literally ever come across in my almost 60 years on this planet. No, she doesn't feel cringe. She doesn't feel shame. She feels entitled, and she feels pissed off at being questioned. That is my take on what's going on here.
But it's your position that you never asked them for money, correct?
Objection form. Go ahead.
If they offered, I can help you anytime, any place, whatever you need, let me know. Please let me know. Then I may have gone back and said, okay, I'm going to take you up on your offer. Yes, I need your help. That's
Okay.
what I mean.
So they may have
So she didn't ask. She just accepted their help later at a later date. Yeah.
given you an opportunity and said, Tricia, if you ever need anything, let me know. And then it might be you call them up one day and say, hey, I'm ready to take you up on that. I need X amount of dollars, or I need my bills paid, or whatever, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I would love it if he asked her why she can't pay her bills.
And going back to the Web Sleuths Exhibit 3, the etiquette and information, do you have that in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The soliciting financial assistance paragraph, do you see that?
Yes.
It says soliciting financial assistance in the forums, chat, or via PM is strictly prohibited. This means both overt, in quote says, send me money, and subtle, poor me, I could really use some money, forms. You agree that soliciting money or soliciting anything can be in an overt or a subtle form as described here in the Web Sleuths etiquette and information, correct?
You agree that there's dry begging and wet begging, right, Tricia?
Well, are you talking about in a chat or via PM? Because that's what we're talking. Are you talking about in general? Because in general, it's not talking about in general here.
Right, I understand in general. I was just trying to take this description and apply it to life in general.
Okay.
You agree with that, right?
Say it again.
That life in general, a person or people can solicit things either in an overt manner by saying, I need this, can you give me this? Or in a subtle manner by saying, it's really tough out there. You agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is 12 years ago, and she's also talking about periods of time before this, right? So, like, yeah, she has been at this for a long time. Patterns of behavior.
And it was your testimony, if I recall correctly, that the last time she gave you money was in 2010
If I remember correctly.
or 2006.
Right? He's going back to 2006 that she was taking money off of Web Sleuths members. That's 20 years of this that, are documented just in this. I mean, he obviously doesn't document anything after 2014, but you know what I'm saying.
Is it possible that she could have given you money in 2014?
No.
This is where, because he misses this. I don't know if he's looking down or something, but she goes, no, she never gave me any money in 2014. And then she goes, oh. And she smiles and looks down. And I don't think he notices because he doesn't follow up on it. And that smile was like a creepy, like, oh, I've just been caught smile. Exactly.
What is your understanding as to how the money that comes into the Web Sleuths LLC account is to be divided?
The way your client set it up was I was allowed to take $3,000 a month. And then when we started making $3,000 a month comfortably, she would start taking a salary. But in the end, she would take out the same amount as I would. At some point, we would equal it up once the forum started making money.
So is your understanding that at some point it would be a 50-50 even split?
At some point, yes.
Watch out for this too. So one of the things that they agreed was that she would take up to $3,000, assuming that they made that much in the month. And that out of that $3,000, she is supposed to pay for the web servers and the Skype accounts. But she takes the $3,000 for herself and pays the web servers and the Skype accounts on top of that, and then pretends that she didn't understand that and she had to have it explained to her. And then after she had it explained to her, she never did it anymore. Hi, Sumalam. I'm glad you could make it. We're just about at the end, so you're going to have to go back to the beginning, but I'm glad you made it anyway.
But in the beginning, you were allowed to take $3,000 a month. And does that include expenses to be paid for the site, or is that exclusive?
My understanding is it's I was allowed to take up to $3,000 a month, and I would pay the bills out of that. That's how I understand it.
So you would pay the Web Sleuths LLC bills out of your $3,000, correct?
Yes.
And what do those bills include?
The server, a couple of Skype accounts, and that's all I can remember off the top of my head.
Okay. What do you know what the Skype accounts are used for?
They're used for to make phone calls to verify people.
And so just so I'm clear, your understanding was that you would get $3,000 a month from the Web Sleuths LLC bank account at Chase, right?
Yes.
But from that $3,000, you had to subtract the monthly expenses for the server fee and for the Skype accounts, correct?
That's the way I understand it now, yes.
Okay. Was it your understanding at the time you made the agreement that that's how it's worked, how we just described it?
At some point, I thought it was $3,000 a month and then the expenses.
Right? Because it's just so confusing. I mean, it's so confusing. How could she possibly have understood? It's just so confusing. So then once Sue pointed it out to her, she was like, oh, well, I won't do that anymore then.
Okay. But as you sit here today, included in your $3,000 a month is the server fee, the Skype fee, and your draw, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
And any other bills that come along.
So for example, let's say the server fee was $300 and Web Sleuths, for the purposes of this example, took in $3,500 in 1 month. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. So the server fee is $300. You subtract that from the $3,500, correct?
Yes.
And that gives you $3,200, correct?
Yes.
In this situation, what, with your understanding of the agreement today, what would you be allowed to take of that $3,200?
$2,700. Because I'd have to pay. I'd just start with $3,000, pay the bills, take what's left over.
Okay. And the remainder of the money would be for Miss Pruitt?
It just wouldn't be touched. We haven't decided if it would exactly go to her or what, because of the caveat of she'd start taking money after we were making it comfortably. It depended on if we were making it over and over. If we were making it over and over each month, yes, it'd go to Miss Pruitt.
Okay.
I think that Miss Pruitt made the mistake. I mean, clearly she made the mistake of trusting Tricia, but things like once we're making a comfortable amount of money, like Tricia's not comfortable with less than, tens of thousands. So it was kind of a mistake to leave that, in my opinion. It was a mistake to leave that like that. But then, of course, the business the deal between them fell apart long before they got to that point anyway. So it didn't ultimately matter. But to me, it's just a signal of like Sue trusted and believed in Tricia.
Okay, so that money, anything left over in the example that I just gave, would stay in the account, right?
Yes.
And that money would go to the next month, correct?
Yes.
But that money wouldn't be included as income for the next month, right?
No.
Okay, so the money that wasn't touched would stay in the account the next month, correct?
Yes.
And you would start over with whatever the income was for the following month. You would start over again with deducting the expenses and then taking your share, correct?
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. She goes and acts like it's all really confusing and everything. It's actually not confusing at all. But she overdrafts the account multiple times. So pretending that she doesn't understand how it all works is how she gets away with that shit.
So
Well, is it your understanding that you're able to take the up to $3,000 minus expenses for the server and the Skype?
I believe so. Suma says it's so weird to me that she's from Utah. She seems so East Coast to me. I believe that she is actually ex-Mormon. No? Tricia? Pretty sure.
Fee in the account, regardless of when that money was received by the LLC?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Did you ever ask Ms. Pruitt what you were allowed to do pursuant to the agreement?
It was just understood that I would take $3,000 a month, and that's how it was understood.
Okay.
So it's
That's all that mattered to me. All that mattered to me was that I was going to get $3,000 a month because I wasn't even making $1,000 a month before. So 3 seemed like 3 times as much as I was making before. So I just agreed quick before she changed her mind, basically.
Is there
Not Mormon. Okay.
well,
Not Mormon. What did I hear? There's been so much Tricia content lately that I cannot remember where I heard anything. I really thought I heard her talking about being Mormon. I must have imagined it. Maybe I dreamed it.
there's an email that discusses the $3,000 a month in expenses that we just talked about, right?
yes.
Okay, and I'm going to locate that for us. Good.
Takes a village to take down a predator. Appreciate all the information, you guys. Thank you.
Handing you Exhibit 4 to your deposition.
hmm
Is this the email that references the agreement that you and I just discussed? Your
Yes.
understanding of it? Correct.
Yes.
And it's, if you look at there's 2 emails on this page, right?
No, just
Well,
oh yes, there are 2. Yes.
okay. So at the bottom it says from Turtle Sue P at AOL. Is that Miss Pruitt?
Yes.
That's the plausible deniability thing I was talking about. Yeah, it was an accident. And nobody can say, like, of course it's total bullshit that she accidentally hit record on her phone when she went in to attack John Ramsey. It was just an accident. And nobody can prove that it wasn't. But even though we all know that it wasn't, right? And the fact that she doesn't feel shame while she's saying that, like, I would die of cringe if I tried to pull off the stuff that she tries to pull off. I would die of embarrassment and shame.
And then it's to tgriff at xmission.com. That's you, correct?
Yes.
And this is April 25th, 2011, correct?
Yes.
So this is prior to the regulations of websleuths.com LLC that we looked at earlier being signed, correct?
Yes.
We can look at it if you think it. I'll hand you Exhibit 2.
No, that's fine.
Okay. And below it says, Tricia, upon the formation of the partnership of websleuths.com LLC, it is understood between the 2 parties, Tricia Griffith and Susan Pruitt, that Tricia Griffith will continue to draw a salary up to the amount of $3,000 per month to include those expenses already being paid for the operation of websleuths.com LLC. Although expenses shall be expensed toward the entity and shall not count as personal income to Tricia Griffith. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay. Susan Pruitt will agree not to draw a salary until the income from websleuths.com LLC reaches a comfortable amount in excess of $3,000 per month. Per month income, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there's a little bit more in here, but above that email is a reply from you, and it says, agreed to this 24th day of April 2011, correct?
Yes.
Is it your contention that this agreement here supersedes the paragraph that we read earlier in Exhibit 2 regarding the 50-50 split on a quarterly basis?
Objection form.
Did you understand that?
I think you're asking for legal position. So
I'll go with my lawyer.
no, I mean you can answer it if you know the answer.
She's made her objection,
Yeah,
and the
I
judge
made the
may say that you can't. You don't.
What is the
The question is it your position that this April 25th, 2011 agreement between you and Ms. Pruitt, this email, supersedes anything regarding salaries or draws in Exhibit 2, which are the regulations of websleuths.com LLC.
Make objection form, yeah.
Yes, this supersedes that.
Okay.
Are we moving on to a different topic? Or are we staying?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Can we take a break?
Yeah, I need a
You want
break.
to take a break?
I need
We
to
can take a break.
Okay.
We are off the record. The time is 12:07 p.m.
Right. That's part one, people. So there's 2 more parts. The next one is about 2 hours, and then the last one is about an hour. It's not a wig, I don't think, Suma. I think that's her real hair. We were saying if she cut off most of it, she might not look so god awful. So the other thing I wanted to say is that I have, I don't know if you people know, but I've got planned for tomorrow another live with more. There's more Sarah Boone stuff out. So interestingly, oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm just being confused here. I just have to do this here. So these guys, so tomorrow there's the there we go. So they have put out some new things. So we've got we just watched episode 25. They have put out episode 26 and episode 28. 27 appears to be missing. So 26 is a phone call. 28 is a FOIA video entitled A Brother's Plight. And then we have this one here, which is interesting to me because they seem to be moving on from, yes, more Boone foolery. We seem to be moving on from Sarah Boone. So this episode is called Zachary Hughes, episode number 1, Unseen Evidence. And Zachary Hughes is the guy, if you recall, who was involved. So he murdered his friend's wife because he found out that the wife had been abusing the children. And so he went over to her house disguised as something, and there were rose petals everywhere, whatever, and he murdered her. So I don't know what this means about Third Rail True Crime. If this means that they are expanding, they are out of Sarah Boone calls, if they have a plan to, try to branch out into the true crime community. But I thought that was interesting. So tomorrow I'm going to do a live with the first 2 that we talked about, the Boone calls and then the FOIA stuff. Okay, Asuma says the FOIA one is body cam of George's brother. Peter mocks him. It's painful. Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I am not super impressed by those people. Sorry, I'm just clicking everybody's things and putting them up, but I'm not reading them first, so I don't know what people are saying. Yeah, I mean, we have the transcript, Kresha. How have these video depositions not been unearthed before? It was actually not that difficult to find, I gotta tell you. But yeah, I think it's great because it gives you can get a lot more of a feel for what Tricia is like here, right? Because she's not putting on her ditzy web sleuth persona that she usually does, right? So I don't know, I'm finding it very I think it's yeah, I think it's illuminating. She comes across as like a mob boss almost, in terms of the absolute lack of emotion that she shows, and the demeanor is really, yeah, right. It's really revealing to my mind. It's really revealing. And it just puts paid to all of her lies, right? So I was wondering if she was going to buy her membership so she could be here today, but I guess not. So anyway, yeah, so that's the end for today. I'm going to do the Sarah Boone thing tomorrow, and then I'm going to get number 2 video out probably for Sunday, realistically, because I have to go through and make sure that there's no names left unbleeped and all of that. So yeah, seeing her answering is, yeah, it's a real, it gives you a whole other dimension, right, than just the words on the page. Yeah. Who crossed the street to get away from her? Yeah, thank you, Chuck Anderson. That's nice. Didn't you do that once already? Thank you. That's very kind of you. My goodness, Chuck Anderson's. Yes, it was you twice. Well, thank you, Chuck Anderson. You're very generous. I very much appreciate that. Yeah. So I will say good night. Little Apples is looking sideways at me. His supper is waiting for him. And yeah, I guess I will just love you and leave you until next time, boss lady. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I will see you next time.